Crystal Dynamics, the Tomb Raider developer, has been hit by some layoffs from Embracer. Ever since they purchased Tomb Raider, there have already been rumors months ago about layoffs, about canceled projects. And when we talked about Tomb Raider being a possibility in this, we were met with, no, everything's fine. Everything's good. Everything's good with Tomb Raider. Everything's good with Crystal Dynamics. Nothing to worry about. Well, that is not the case because Crystal Dynamics is suffering from some layoffs. Now, what can this mean for Tomb Raider? Now, before you guys get all worried, and we just had the remasters announced, before you get worried about that, I'm of the opinion this will not affect that whatsoever. Firstly, because, Embracer knows full well they're not going to announce a project right before they know they're doing layoffs. Secondly, the remasters are being made by Aspire, not by Crystal Dynamics. That's honestly, in my opinion, I obviously do not have insider knowledge on this scenario, but in my opinion, that is entirely due to the fact that Embracer bought Tomb Raider. We would not be getting these remasters otherwise, because Crystal Dynamics has already, in tandem with Square Enix, already, we've seen the writing on the wall. We've seen it said. We've even seen by other developers coming out and saying things, or other devs on the team saying, oh, there's just no market for it. Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix did not want to make Tomb Raider remasters. The only reason why we are getting them is because of the Embracer acquisition. Have your opinions on Embracer all you want. I get it. But hey, I will forever be grateful to them because they are the reason we are getting these remasters. Allegedly. I don't have insider info on this. But I'd like to think I can do a little bit of math in this scenario. All right. So you guys have seen me talk time and time again about the direction of Tomb Raider, about how it has been an absolute crap show. Everything that's been going on. The development of the new game that's coming out, the new mainline title, has been a mess. It has been a long time coming. And not only that, but there have been leak after leaks after leaks, and the leaks sound bloody awful, okay? Just to put it lightly. If you want more info on that, I have made videos about it. Again, alleged leaks, but I think these leaks are very plausible, okay? I'll just say that. So anyway, let's just dive into this video from Radar. They said here, months after declaring Tomb Raider unaffected by layoffs, Tomb Raider dev hit with wave of layoffs. Now, obviously, I'm not celebrating the fact that people are being laid off. I hate it. I hate to see people out of jobs. But in this kind of situation, is it kind of an I told you so moment? I think a lot of the fans would say that is the case. We've been asking for more stuff like the remasters, right? Imagine if the focus had been put toward that. Imagine if the IP in general had been handled a lot better. Tomb Raider has not been handled well. It has been mismanaged. The fans are split and more divided than ever. And, say what you will about the rebooted games, and if you like them, I think that the rebooted games are fun games. And hey, they're good games, but they are simply not Tomb Raider games. This should have been a whole other IP with a whole other title. Lara Croft is not the same character, not in looks, not in personality, not in motivation, so on and so forth. Everything, the gameplay, everything is just completely unrecognizable, as you've seen me discuss time and time again on this channel. Not only that, but the budgets have been astronomical, running over $100 million per game, which has left the games missing target sales. They have struggled just to break even, and as a result, the entire IP and rights to Tomb Raider were sold for a steal for $300,000. Okay, the company acquisition, Crystal Dynamics, come on, man. All right, so let's just go ahead. Or did I say 300,000? I meant 300 million. All right, but anyway, let me continue. Tomb Raider developer Crystal Dynamics has suffered a wave of layoffs just months after insisting that the ongoing staff hemorrhage at parent company Embracer Group wouldn't affect the new Tomb Raider game or the studio's collaboration with the initiative on the Perfect Dark reboot. I made videos about this as well, and how It's very discouraging for Crystal Dynamics to be even involved with that. We've seen them change Lara Croft, make her unrecognizable. Don't want to see that happening with Joanna Dark. All right, so several Crystal Dynamics employees confirmed the layoffs on social media today. And while marketing and branding folks seem to have drawn the shortest straw, the exact scope of the redundancies remain uncertain. Senior brand manager Nick Edwards writes, "Sadly, the Embracer layoffs keep coming, and I and a number of talented brand and marketing folks at Crystal Dynamics are impacted." Again, it's really sad to see people lose their jobs, especially when it comes to marketing. On the marketing side, none of this is their fault. None of the direction of the Tomb Raider IP, what Crystal Dynamics has been doing, and that's out of their control. So it sucks to see them have to take the hit. Senior community and social manager Neha Nair adds, "There isn't an easy way to say this, so I'll just rip the band-aid off because while I'm still processing, life unfortunately does not pause. After 3.5 years at Crystal Dynamics, I was laid off today." That is incredibly sad because I know how much she loved that job. This is devastating and I hate to see it. And I think that what the root of the problem here really does fall under the mismanagement of the entire franchise, right? And this is not Neha's fault. This is not the community team's fault. This is not the marketing team's fault. So it really does suck to see this. Updates on other platforms like LinkedIn show several other members of senior staff, including communications director Adam Kahn, have been let go. Crystal Dynamics has yet to release a public statement on the layoffs, and the only word from Embracer Group today has been a rescheduling of its stakeholder-facing Capital Markets Day on account of the restructuring program launched on June 13th, which will run until March 31st, 2024. Now, do I think that like Embracer is the big bad guy in this situation? No, they got to do something because Crystal Dynamics as a company, incredibly mismanaged. The whole Tomb Raider franchise, incredibly mismanaged. It's just a giant mess. The amount of money they need to make games, not even to mention what happened with Avengers that's getting pulled in general. Crystal Dynamics is just not in a good place. They need help. Square Enix let them run loose too much. Okay? You know, I think with the first Tomb Raider game, it was surprising. It was something new and fresh to see at the time. And so there, you know, it really did put Crystal Dynamics on the map a lot more. I mean, not that they haven't done anything before in the past. I mean, Soul Reaver, but still, you know, it was like, hey, they can actually hang with AAA games to dev studios. But unfortunately, things plummeted after that. Fans were promised, okay, Lara Croft's going to become the Tomb Raider she's meant to be, this and that. It never did happen. There's just been a giant mess within the community of, okay, now you have fans of the reboot, now you have fans of classic Tomb Raider, and you have fans of the Legend trilogy. And you know, while Classic and the Legend trilogy have some sort of overlap, there's only some. There's a lot of differences. You basically have 3 different franchises all sharing the same name. And, you know, some people like all of them. So not to say that people don't like all of them, but they are so discombobulated. Now it's like, oh, we're going to do this unification effort. And you can't unify something that is so drastically different. You're going to get a Frankenstein and you're not going to, I mean, people like myself have been wanting a restoration, right? But what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen when you change something beyond recognition? You know, similar concept happened with the DMC reboot of Devil May Cry. Obviously, an entirely different studio worked on that. But okay, Devil May Cry, move forward back to its roots. I think Tomb Raider has to do something like that because these action-y games that don't even involve much tomb raiding, and the little tomb raiding that it does have being stupid easy physics-based puzzles, no real challenge, optional to boot. This isn't Tomb Raider. It's not the fundamentals of Tomb Raider. And also with the astronomical budgets, trying to make everything fall along the same modern day template of video games that are mostly focused on fancy cutscenes and mocap and pretty visuals, and instead of actual compelling gameplay experiences, Tomb Raider is no longer just this grand adventure where Lara Croft is, she's living for the thrill of it and stealing artifacts and this and that. When you wokeify it and, she restores artifacts. Now she wants to bring them back to their rightful owners. She needs to be a savior now. She needs to look different. She needs to act different. She needs to care about her. Everything has to be based around her family drama now. Whereas in the past, her parents disowned her. You just had this set up to where Lara Croft just had established adventures to go on. What we're seeing with the remasters, that is Tomb Raider, not this reboot stuff. And like I said, fun games, but that's not Tomb Raider, and it caused a huge issue. So now we have the remasters coming out. You got the Netflix series coming out it's basically BFF road trip adventures. They're not connected. I don't care how much you want to act like, this is going to be a unification. You can't unify that. It's not the same thing. You can't unify the reboot with the classic games. You cannot. Especially with the leaks that we've seen, if those are even remotely true, where Lara Croft isn't even confident in her own knowledge and abilities in Indian culture, that she has to have students help her out, and then now she has a girlfriend and wants to retire with her and have the entire Tomb Raiding title given to one of her students instead. Again, this is all rumors, might not even be true, but the leaks did seem very believable. I will say that. Alleged leaks, the rumors. All right, so anyway, Crystal Dynamics has yet to release a public statement on the layoffs, and only word from Embracer Group today has been, I already read that. All right. In June, Crystal Dynamics said that despite escalating Embracer layoffs, there will be no impact to our continuing efforts with our partners at the initiative on Perfect Dark, or our next Tomb Raider title being developed in collaboration with Amazon Games. It's unclear if this statement remains true after today's cuts. Okay, so again, this was in June. I've talked about this. We weren't sure what was going to happen with the titles. I think in this situation, with the layoffs being more so on the marketing side of things and not so much on the development side, this stuff could still move forward. I'll be truthful in the fact that I don't want it to, especially if leaks are even remotely true. And if Embracer has two brain cells to rub together, their management and whoever's heading a lot of this stuff, if they have two brain cells to rub together and see the mess that the community is, and to see, again, if those leaks are true, just to use their brains and say, wow, this sounds incredibly stupid. This will not sell well. This will be a disaster. Put a halt to it if that is the case. If that is what they're trying to push out, put a freaking halt to it, please. And not only that, but just see the reception for the remasters. Everybody is excited for these remasters, okay? So maybe, going to the roots of Tomb Raider might be a smart decision instead of spending $100+ million, not even to mention the coin that has been invested in this next game so far for how long it has been in development. There is no telling. Okay? Pull the plug, dude. The affected members of Crystal Dynamics are only the latest to be hurled out by Embracer in order to help keep its ship above water. The company's restructuring, you'll recall, followed a failed $2 billion deal with Saudi Arabia and has since seen the shuttering of 30-year-old Saints Row developer Volition, layoffs across a range of studios, and the rumored pawning of Borderlands developer Gearbox. In a June statement, Embracer CEO Lars Winchforce noted that Embracer currently engages close to 17,000 people, and while that number will be lower by the end of the year, it is too early to give an exact forecast on this. All right, and so then they shared about the recent remaster trilogy announcement. I think the best thing Embracer can do in this kind of situation is sit back, see what the reception is going to be for the Tomb Raider remastered trilogy. I mean, it does drop on Valentine's Day. So, hey, less than 5 months away. I think before announcing the next mainline Tomb Raider title, if they haven't already pulled the plug on it, I really think they need to just see that, because if the remasters are this massive success and then they want to, it's just going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess of the name of Tomb Raider, of the brand identity and all that. And because if then they want to announce this other Tomb Raider game that's going to be unrecognizable, it's not going to be the same. It's a different Lara Croft. It's a different gameplay style. So then it's like, wait a minute. This is called Tomb Raider and this is called Tomb Raider, but this looks way different. Then you got the Netflix thing that's way different. And then you got the Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who just destroys everything she touches, working on a movie and TV series. These are all different. What's going on? Brand identity has just completely been lost. All right. So the best thing they can do, in my opinion, would be to move forward with the remasters, see how that goes, obviously, hopefully well, and then gauge things from there. But I think just to release a bunch of things that are a giant mess and that aren't coherent with one another, that further divide the community. And again, when you're already looking at sales from the last trilogy that struggled just to break even, I mean, Shadow of the Tomb Raider had to be on sale within like a month of release. Especially the two titles after the initial reboot just did not meet expectations. So, to keep that up when it's already lost its newness, when it's already lost that fresh, this is something different, people are ready for Lara Croft to be Lara Croft again. They've been ready. So I just don't think it's a good idea. That's my opinion, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you want to see Tomb Raider move forward in the reboot style, or do you want to see Tomb Raider, follow its roots more so? Again, I'm of the, I'm just one last statement, okay, on this, one last nerding out here. I don't think Tomb Raider needs to be this massive $100 million games that have all these like super modern graphics. I think a stylized approach. You already have the templates. You already have what's going on with the remastered trilogy. Okay, so hopefully those will sell well. And especially considering the budgets, aren't even remotely the same as their mainline games have been. See how that goes. If those do really well, which the reception does seem to be great, then okay, push out 4 and 5. Okay, Last Revelation and Chronicles, get those remastered, possibly even Angel of Darkness as well, if you can fix the problems. That is going to be a much bigger endeavor. I think even if they take the assets, the art styles of what they're doing with the remasters of the first 3 games, if they want to, demake Angel of Darkness a little bit, because let's face it just wasn't completed. So demake it a little bit in that style. All right. You still keep the dark atmosphere and all that, but still in those kind of graphics and those kind of control schemes, all that, restructure it in that style instead of what they were going for that was incomplete and quite frankly broken. So anyway, I could nerd out about this for an hour and still not have said everything that I want to say, because Tomb Raider is kind of my thing. But anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Don't forget to read your Bible today, and if you want someone to read the Bible to you, I made a new channel called Bible Time with Melanie Mack. So it'll be on the end card and in the link tree in the description. I hope to see you there. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers there already. Yay. So anyway, thank you again for watching. I will catch you next time. And in the meantime, go boom.